Hi. So, for those of you all who are new to us, we are the Sammy, Nicole, and Fifi Show, a dynamic mother daughter duo here on YouTube. And on our channel, we discuss all things love, life, relationships, and pop culture from both the millennial perspective, which is me, Sammy Nicole, and the Generation X perspective, which is Fifi, my beautiful mother. So tonight, what are we talking about, Fifi?
We are going to give our review of The Woman King, which was so good. We went to go see it this afternoon. Oh my
With
goodness.
Viola Davis.
With Viola
I
Davis.
can't remember the other actress's name.
I can't either.
And Jonathan Boyega. I don't know. I can't pronounce it. Forgive me. But it was really good. What do you think about the movie?
It was phenomenal.
Hmm.
It was such a good movie. It had so many different messages in the movie. It was just powerful, and it just gave you a different perspective on our history and how we should honor our ancestors. And I'll let you go more into the intellectual part of it because I know you know some history as far as, a lot of people were saying that they didn't think the movie portrayed the reality of a woman king. A lot of people had mixed feelings about that it wasn't really factual. And I think, and from my understanding, it's actually true. That's right. There's some history behind it, right?
That Women King exists? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I know you were telling me like our ancestral, the first king. Well, king stands for. That's what you was telling me. The
In
definition.
some African kingdoms, can be the term king can be unisex. It could be male or female. In some ancient African civilizations, the kings were actually women
It doesn't necessarily mean, in our minds now when we hear king,
because of patriarchy.
because of patriarchy, we instantly think men, a man, but a king does not only pertain to a man. Women can be kings too. Okay, so it's very important. Like you said, in certain cultures, it means it can be a woman or a man. So in this particular tribe, I guess African culture, it, a woman could be a king. So it wasn't fictional. It was true. And a lot of people was saying that, the movie portrayed something that was not true because a woman can't be a king. And I think that's where
You just have to read, learn your history.
yeah, and a lot of us don't read and learn our history, but
And even with the Ashanti tribe in Africa, that has a strong matriarchal leadership versus a patriarchal one. Like the women are really revered in the Ashanti tribe. So there
mm,
are certain tribes in Africa where they are a matriarch.
meaning the women are.
The head, the leaders. Yeah.
And I thought, okay, so let's go back to the beginning of the movie. And if you all haven't, if somebody's on here that hadn't seen it, then we don't want to spoil it for you. So
Yeah.
don't watch this. But at the beginning of the movie, it starts with the father trying to sell off his daughter,
Basically to the highest bidder, rich man.
right, to the rich man, to the highest bidder. And that still happens till today. That's not something that doesn't happen. That still happens in certain cultures today. As a matter of fact, in certain African tribes today. I mean, so that's
And
not
non-African cultures
this
too.
too. Yeah. So
Excuse.
but she fought it off, and so he gave her away. She
To the
was
king.
to the king so she could fight for them. And he made the statement, if you're gonna learn how to, what did he say? how to live or how to stay alive or something like that. And so I thought that was disheartening, but then to come to find out she was from a orphanage. She wasn't really his child, right?
No, she was an orphan.
She was an
They got her
orphan.
from an orphanage.
So that was like okay, and then to find out later on that who her mom was and how she was so much like her mother. She was so much like her as being defiant,
Headstrong, a
headstrong,
leader, fearless.
yes, 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 and didn't let anything deter her to what she wanted to do. She didn't give up, and she didn't depend on a man to get her, where she wanted to be. It was just a lot of messages in this movie, just empowering for women, for black women especially. And I like the part where they taught them sisterhood.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's I took that away from the movie, how they stuck together as women, and they came together in a sisterhood. We fight together, we stay together,
We die together.
we die together. We have one goal, one mission together, and you don't deter from that. And I think that was so powerful to see that as a black woman, and for black women to see that and to take that away from the movie, because as black women sometimes we play against each other and we don't stick together. And I think as black women, if we would stick together and be as one, she said, we are as one. We are powerful together than we are apart. And I think that's really, really important, an important takeaway from the movie. And I took that away. I was like, okay, wow, that's enlightening to see that they stick together. It wasn't any going against each other. And even when they were in combat, when training, she went back and she went to go get her sister. She reached back. My sister needs help, and
My sister's keeper. I am
my
my sister's
yeah,
keeper.
I am my sister's keeper. She reached back for her sister, went and got her and pulled her and brought her with her. And she said, why did you go back and get her? You could have lost. She said, because my sister needed me. She needed me. And we can relate to that now. Sometimes we need to reach back and get our sister, because she may need us to pull her up. She may need us to help her get out of situation. So I just thought that it was a lot of what would you say, like symbolism, messages in this movie, especially for black women. And I think Viola Davis did a tremendous job. She's a phenomenal actress anyway. And I think that she just did a wonderful job in this movie. Let's see, another thing that I like the mother and daughter bond. I like, once she found out who her mother was, it was like, when they were fighting, she was like, Mom, I got you. Don't worry about it. I'll handle this. You rest. You've been fighting for me. You rest. I got you. Once she found out who her mother was, how she honored her mother, how she respected her mother. And so I took that away from it as well. And then I think you have brought up one comment about how they were having black women and black men fighting. I'm gonna let you talk about that.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting how um the woman king, her opponent, was a black man, and he kind of like resembled what we know currently as the Moors from ancient history.
Moors.
The ones who traded with the Europeans, taught them
Oh
how
yeah,
to
and that's another
bathe
thing
and
we need to
things
talk about.
like that. So I just thought that was interesting. It was like the divine feminine going up against the divine masculine, and the black man and the black woman kind of going at it, and how in some ways that's still very apparent today. amongst us as black men and black women in the battle, and just kind of going against each other and not realizing that you need both the divine masculine and the divine feminine. They work in
Mm-hmm.
tandem, they work in unison,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So I thought that was really deep, and I really like how they honored their ancestors. I like
Yes.
how one of the Dahomey soldiers, she was basically like a wise woman. You know,
Mm-hmm.
she could, she had the gift of sight, and I liked how she was wise enough to honor the ancestors because their ancestors helped guide them and protect them in war, and keep them safe and help them be victorious. Even though they lost some, they still came out victorious.
Mm-hmm.
And I like how at the end they honored their fallen soldiers, and they poured libations for them, just to honor their spirits and keep and let them know that, hey, just because you're not on this side of the veil, we still honor you, we still remember you, and we still want to show our respect and take care of you on the other side. Because just because people die doesn't mean they disappear. They still see what's going on, they still know what's happening, and it's good to not forget about our loved ones just because they're no longer here in the physical sense. Still look out for them and let them know that you remember them and you care
Honor
about
them.
them, because they look out for us, whether you believe it or not. It's certain things that our ancestors do on our behalf that we are not even aware of, through the grace of God, the God's grace. So I just thought that was really beautiful and really deep. And I really like how they incorporated honoring the ancestors. They had the
I did
altar,
too.
and I
Yeah.
just thought that was really beautiful.
Yeah, I like the way they put that in the movie to let us know, because as African Americans, we think that's taboo to honor our ancestors and to honor, beyond the veil, like you said, and to call on them. And you notice that she called their names out.
Mm-hmm.
She called each of their names out. It says, call them as if they were so. And that's what she did. She called them if they were so on this side. And by calling their names out, it awakens their spirits. Their spirits become, awaken, and they come with you.
Mm-hmm. They
So
hear their
they
names.
hear their names,
They're
right?
being summoned.
They're
Yeah,
being
you
summoned.
calling on their energy, so
Call them as if they were so. So
and they showing up.
and they show up. So, and I like the way she, everything in this movie. That's what I don't get, why people were so upset about saying that the movie wasn't
Real, and some people were saying
real.
it was emasculating men, and
No, it
they was
actually,
gonna boycott it. Just stupid stuff.
yeah, just stupid stuff. I mean, it just,
Y'all can't even boycott football. Shut up. Or basketball. Shut up.
I think it's a good movie for our young black girls to
Yeah.
see. I
So would
think
you be more willing to take your if you had a little young black daughter, to see The Woman King or Ariel?
I would actually take them to see both,
Both.
because Ariel is not fictional either. We know that there is a black
The story
mermaid.
is, but black mermaids are not.
The black mermaids are real. We know that, right? If we
And
know
I mean, it's ancient history.
history.
Like, it's books written about it. It's drawings like from ancient civilizations that mermaids. But that's
We
another
have got
topic
to
for another
read,
day.
yeah. We have got to
I mean, they
read
do
and learn
documentaries on this stuff and stuff.
but everybody is not in tune and intellectual to things like that, Samantha. Like you read. You have been a reader all your life, and some people just don't read. We just go off of what media gives us or what we're told. Like they were saying that Ariel didn't have braids, and she didn't look like that,
And why
and
are we arguing over a fictional character?
you know
Disney made it up.
right, Disney made it up, but there are black mermaids. Do your research. Don't just go on what people say. Read. You gotta read and do your research, and go beyond Google and actually go look up some different topics, and you know and read and
Mm-hmm.
find out for yourself. But I would take my daughter to see both of them, and as a matter of fact, I would take my son to see The Woman King.
Mm.
I would take my little boy to see The Woman King, so he can see that divine feminine energy.
Right.
You know how powerful a black woman is. We are some powerful women.
And also, I think it's good because a lot of times we think femininity is just soft and dainty and quiet and submissive and easygoing, and that's not full femininity. You know, yes, femininity can be soft, but it's also resilient too, and it also
Mm,
commands respect and power, and
mm,
if need be, rage. So I think
mm.
it's good to kind of change the narrative because we think, oh, if we say be more feminine, that means be more soft, be more docile, but that's not the full scope of what femininity is. It's just not.
It's not. It's not. As a matter of fact, I recently had a man tell me I love a strong-willed woman. So, I'm not always resting in my femininity.
But you could rest in your femininity. Don't mean you gotta let somebody,
Right.
mistreat you or
Mistreat
walk
you.
over, or you
Right.
don't stand up for yourself. You don't advocate for yourself. That's not it. And I really wish we would check that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But back to the movie, I think that I let's go to the part with the mulatto.
The guy who was half, what is it, Dahimi?
Yeah, his mom was a homie, as they call him,
Dahomey.
the homie,
And
and
the
so,
daddy was white.
and the daddy was what?
Portuguese.
Was Portuguese, and he came back to his people after his mom had died, but and he saw attraction for the young warrior. What was her name? I can't remember her name. Viola Davis' daughter. He saw attraction for her, and she started to like him. And the older warrior told her, "Don't lose your power. Stay focused. Stay on task. We have a goal. We have a mission." And I think that's so relatable in these times when don't lose your power. I used to tell Samantha all the time when she was young, keep your eye on the prize. That was something I would always say. Keep your eye on the prize. Keep your eye on the prize. Keep your eye on the prize. That means stay focused. Don't lose your power. Stay on task. And that's as a young warrior, that's what they were trying to tell her. And don't let this attractive young man get you off your game.
Throw you off your game.
Throw you off your game. We trying to get some land over here across this water.
Trying to protect
Check
our kingdom.
our king. We trying to keep our people from
free.
being sold. By our people. Our people was selling our people for money. And so she was telling the young warrior, stay on task. We trying to do something over here. We trying to make some things work for the big picture. You over here trying to drop it low and spread it wide. But we trying to do some stuff over here. We trying to save our people. We trying to save our king. We trying to save our legacy. We trying to do all this. And you trying to go sleep with this little mulatto over here. So I think that's so related. Malik. He even had a little he even had Malik.
Was nigga's name Malik back then?
I don't know.
I have to Google that.
Because that was like the 1800s, wasn't it?
Yeah, 1832.
Yeah. So I thought that was just so like, okay, stay on task, stay on your game. But she still was wanna run after. But at the end, she was like, I gotta go with my people. I'm going with my mama. I'll see you later. Thank you. And I thought that was just a good example. You ain't always gotta run up behind no man. Let that man go on. You do what's best for you.
Follow your path. What's best
Follow
for you.
your path. What's best for you. It's a lot of powerful messages in this movie, y'all.
In alignment, it'll be.
In alignment, it'll be. What will be, will be. If it's meant to be, it's going to be, y'all. Your destiny already has been determined. The blueprint for your life was made before you came out of your mother's womb. So what's going to be is going to be, and man has no control over that. So, and I like at the end when she said, she gave him that little, and she went on with her mama like she was supposed to do, and her people,
Now let's talk about Jason. What is it? No, John Boyega. I can never pronounce his last name. Forgive me, y'all. But the one you said looked like a young Denzel.
Oh
He was kind of
yes, he
fine.
looked like a young Denzel to
And I
me.
thought he was a good representation of balanced masculinity. He was strong, but yet still gentle, still understanding, but he was still strong. And I just thought he was a healthy depiction of strong,
Mm-hmm.
divine
Mm-hmm.
masculinity. You know, he was still strong, but he wasn't like a tyrant or a brute.
Mm-hmm.
Now I was cracking up when he was walking past all his wives. My love,
Touching their
my
hand,
love,
my
yeah,
love. I'm saying hi, my love.
my love.
He
Like,
had like 20 of
it
my
was like 20. I was like, how many
I
times he
mean,
gonna say my love? How
they
many
was
minutes is that? That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot
Now
of energy he giving
here's the
out.
thing when we talk about Polly.
Polygamy. He has the resources
Right.
though.
Say it again.
He has the resources, and he had the mental and the emotional stability to manage all of them. That's the thing. That's why I don't believe in polygamy in the States, because the one, they don't have the resources. Two, they don't have the mental or the emotional
And you didn't see
capability
none of
to
them
manage all
wives.
those
You didn't see
emotions.
none of them wives leave the castle and go to work, did you?
No.
When nobody going to, what was they doing? They was laying down at his feet,
Looking beautiful.
looking beautiful all day.
Yeah.
Right next to them, ain't nobody leave out that gate and go to work.
Right.
But here, when you in a poly relationship, all the
Your ass
wives
gotta go to work.
all the wives going to work.
Y'all pulling y'all money together. That's how the man do. Or sometimes the man don't work at all, and y'all just work for him.
Come
I
on,
catch
y'all.
that tea.
Don't be deceived by this foolishness.
It's really masked. It's really softcore pimping here in the States. It's softcore pimping. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. It's not polygamy. It's softcore pimping.
Okay. But yeah, so I thought it was just real interesting to see, he had all these wives, and I was like, okay, they just resting in their femininity all day. They're not going to work.
Now that first wife, she had a very strong personality, kind of meddling and stuff. I didn't really care for
She
her.
didn't know her place.
She was kind of like the antagonist to Viola Davis' character.
Mm-hmm. And Viola played it just as cool, and that was another thing. You had the older woman going against the younger woman, but you see how mature Viola was with her.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one time did she let her bring her out of character? Because she was the mature woman. And she wasn't intimidated by the younger woman at not one bit.
Mm-hmm.
Not one time did she get intimidated by her. And actually, the gay man was actually more bothered by her antagonizing Viola than Viola was about it.
Mm-hmm.
So he stepped in Viola's defense.
And I like how they included like a LGBTQ
Right.
plus
I like that
character,
too.
because whether people want to accept it or not, that's been around since the beginning of time, even in ancient Africa.
I like the way they incorporate that character into it too as well, because it's reality.
Yeah.
It's reality. That's why I understand why people were saying that this is not a good portrayal of,
But you have to remember, it's loosely based off of, it's Hollywood. So everything is not going to be something that happened in real life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I still think it's a great movie. And like I said,
Very good movie.
y'all shut up. Because y'all didn't stay true with boycotting football or basketball. Y'all didn't stay out the Gucci store. Y'all always say y'all gonna boycott something and don't do nothing.
Mm-mm.
That's why nobody take us seriously. Because we get so emotional about shit. And then let a few weeks go by and we forget all about it.
Yep, and we do. We do. We really do.
So, whatever. But yeah, it was a really good movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Obviously, I know it's not based off of 100% the history of the Dahomey, excuse me if I'm pronouncing it wrong, warriors. But I mean any of y'all other people who didn't like the movie, y'all gonna pay to bring the actual story to life to the big screen or invest in it? Probably not. So I thought it was a good movie. I think it's
I
good to
loved
see.
it from the
Yeah.
beginning to it. I mean,
I
I
think
was
it's
just,
Oscar
it was
worthy.
captivating.
Yeah,
I was
I
watching
might go
it.
back and see it again. Hell, I think
Yeah,
it's Oscar worthy.
I'm sure it's gonna be streaming somewhere pretty soon.
Hmm.
But I loved it. I would go see it again too. And it's a great movie for young boys and young girls because
Yeah,
it's has so
it's
many
empowering.
so many
Empowering.
takeaways in it.
Hmm.
Oh my goodness.
For
And
men
it's
and women.
right, and it's a movie that you want to have a conversation about with your young boy or with your young
Yeah,
girls
and
after.
they had men fighting alongside them.
Right. They sure did. They had men fighting along.
She had a counterpart,
Right.
a male general.
She sure did. She sure did. So I think it's an awesome movie, and I hope it comes up for an Oscar or Academy or something.
Yes.
It definitely is deserving of some type of recognition because it was phenomenally made. Viola said that it was excruciating pain
Training.
for training.
Hmm.
I mean, and she looks good for a mature woman of her age. I mean, her body looks good. I mean, you could tell that, it was physical because I'm talking about she's toned.
Hmm.
I mean, she's no body fat, no nothing. She looks awesome. And I just kudos to her. It was just a great movie. I would see it again too, Samantha. I mean, I was just like engaged the entire movie. Like, oh my goodness, I loved it. It has so many takeaways from it. Just we are some beautiful people. We come in all colors, all shapes. We are just beautiful
And the resilient,
and
our
the-
spirits,
our
spiritual
spirits.
people.
Spiritual people, and
They
I
even
just
touched on Ifa and Ogun, the African god of war, and so it was just a lot of good nuggets. If y'all
and
into that.
I think our people, and when I say our people, African American people, brown people, that we don't realize how powerful we are and how many powerful resources that we have. And I think this movie showed that there is so much power, and we can get so much from our ancestors if we just learn how to call on them and how to engage with them
and form that relationship.
And they showed that in this movie. If you don't take anything else away from this movie, take away the part of your ancestors, because it is so important to be able to summon them and call on them and have them work for you from the other side. So
and you honor and revere
them
and form a relationship with them.
Yes, and it showed that in this movie, and I was like, wow. And at the end of the movie, they're saying Ashe, Ashe, and I'm saying Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. It's just touching. It was just touching. And at the end of the movie, people were clapping. It's just a good movie to see. Take your boys, take your young girls, sit down with them and have a conversation. If Samantha, if I would have took her and she would have been 12 or 13, we would have talked about it. We would have had the conversation about it. It's just a good movie. And you walk out of there like, because we know that the history of the black woman is powerful anyway. They try to depict from it, try to astray from the true story of the black woman. But if you know our history, we know that we are the mother. We are the mother of all mothers. So, and I think that's another thing in this movie, that it shows how powerful a black woman is and how much powerful she can be with other black women coming together
and just to support other communities.
Yeah, coming together to support other communities. So I really enjoyed it. Samantha, did you want to say anything?
Yeah, you pretty much summed it up. Yeah. Just go check out The Woman King and let us know what you think. If you have already seen The Woman King, let us know what you think down in the comment section. And yeah, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. That's pretty much it, y'all.
And we appreciate you all. Thank you.
Thank you again.
Until
We're the
next
Sammy
time.
Nicole and Fifi show. I'm Sammy Nicole. This is Fifi. We'll see you guys later.
Bye.